Hey, this is Elena with Black Sheep 303 Creative, and my project today is a Christmas Chickadee card using the Hero Arts Color Layering Bird stamp set along with their Holiday Floral background stamp to create a foiled background. So here's the Color Layering Bird stamp set, and as you probably have guessed, there are several steps to the layering. So the first step is to stamp the outline. So I am using my Misty because I knew I'd probably want to stamp some of the layers a few times. And my first layer is the outline, and I'm stamping this in VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And then the second layer is the beak, is like the fill-in for the beak. And so I'm using Altenew Morning Frost ink for this. And I'm going to stamp this twice. And basically now we're going to be filling in the outline with the various extra stamps. The second step is going to be the cheek and the eye. And because chickadees have like a white patch on their cheek, I use the Lava Rock Altenew ink, and I just did the eye and the front of that stamp set, like the front half, as you see there, to leave part of it white. And now this is the head and the body, and I'm going to use two colors of ink for this. So I'm using the Lava Rock again from Altenew, and then Distress ink and Antique Linen for the breast. So I'm going to be inking up the top part of the head with the Lava Rock, well, like the head part, I guess. It's the whole head, not just the top part. And then the breast part, oh, and I do like smudge that just a tiny bit with a baby wipe just to get it. You'll see the effect once I stamp it. And then it's the Antique Linen on the breast, and you can see how like this lower section is a little bit lighter. And then I did stamp the Antique Linen twice because I wanted to get those white lines kind of crisp. And then the first part of the wing, I am going to stamp with Altenew's Evening Gray. Now these gray inks from Altenew come in like a pack, so it's I think it's the warm grays. So you get 4 colors, and I will use all 4, but really I wind up covering up the third one, so really I only use 3 of them. So that is the top of the wing, and then the bottom of the wing, this stamp, I'm going to be using, so this is the third color in the Altenew stamps. It's called Moon Rock. I'm going to try it, but I wind up covering it up with Lava Rock because I think it's just too light once I stamp it. It's like too close to the Evening Gray, and I just didn't like it so much, so I went back to the Lava Rock, and I stamped it in Lava Rock instead for a little bit of a better effect. And then the tail, I'm going to use Evening Gray and Lava Rock. So it's going to be Evening Gray on most of it, and then Lava Rock just on like the base of the 2 tail feathers to give it just a little bit of like dark ombre shading almost. And hopefully you can kind of see it there. It's a little tough to see, but you'll kind of see it here when I stamp it. And then I didn't think it was enough of the dark color, so I go back and I do Evening Gray again just to crisp up the lines on this, and then I put more Lava Rock on the base to get it a little bit darker on that back feather and the base of the tail. Now the tricky thing about this stamp set is you do need to line up those fill effects correctly. So I would say if you're going to try this, it's a great stamp set. Just take your time lining up those stamps. I have sped this up and, believe me, cut out many a bit where I was pulled it off camera and was making sure it was lined up correctly. So just take your time doing it. It's not that tough. You just got to take a little bit of extra attention to make sure you get it correctly. So the legs I stamped in VersaFine, and then the branch was stamped in Warm Cocoa from Gina K. And now I'm just filling in the eye, like the pupil, with the black glaze pen, and then I let some time pass so it dried, and now I'm going to add the highlight back in with the white glaze pen. I just wanted to offset that eyeball a little bit from the rest of the body because the Lava Rock isn't like a solid black. And then I stamped the poinsettia and 2 leaves from that stamp set, also using Hero Arts Royal Red, or Red Royal, sorry, and Forever Green inks. And then I'm going to do the greeting, which is 'Tis the Season, also from the same stamp set, in VersaMark ink, and then heat emboss it in gold embossing powder. With my foil, I have kind of a metallic theme going, a little bit. Plus, you know, gold is very Christmassy, right? Okay, so here's the foiled background. So the background stamp is called Holiday Floral, also from Hero Arts, and then I'm just taking a makeup sponge and I am smushing the DecoFoil transfer gel all over it. And this is in real time, so I didn't speed this up, but I did it fast. And then I'm stamping it onto Gina K Design's Moonlit Fog cardstock. And this is, I've not sped this up, so this is exactly how fast I did it. And you have to do it that fast. Believe me, I learned it the hard way. So you can see how it's kind of milky and wet. You have to wait for it to completely dry clear. And then you cover it in foil and run it through like your foil machine, like I have a Mink machine or a laminator to get the foil to transfer. I lost all the footage of my doing that, so I apologize for that, but there are many videos available on how you actually foil something, so hopefully you can find that somewhere else if you're not familiar with it. But there you can see the background and how it turned out, and it's pretty nice. So my bird, I die cut out with the Elizabeth Kraft Design Stitched Ovals die set. I used the 3rd largest die there. I fussy cut out the flower and the 2 leaves and the saying. And then I have a piece of Gina K Design's red velvet cardstock cut into a banner shape. And I'm going to add snow to my branch. So this is a snow pen, and it kind of separates if it sits too long. So I'm like kind of massaging it while it's closed to get the liquid and like the gritty paste to mix again. And then you can just spread it with the pen to get a little bit of layer of snow. And it works really well, and it's really cool. And it might be a little hard to find right now. I will link to it, but I know it was sold out the last time I used it. I will also link to the other video where I used the snow pen as well as the stamp set in different cards. So you can see those at the end as well. But I love this thing for Christmas cards. It's amazing. So now it's dried. It takes a little while, like probably an hour to dry, half an hour maybe. It did react with the ink a little bit, so parts of it turned a little bit green. So I found another use for my favorite tool, my white glaze pen. So I'm just going to go over the green parts with the white glaze pen, and it covers it up really nicely and works like an eraser. And I use this all the time when I'm coloring, especially with Spectrum Noirs, to cover up mistakes that I've made. So I highly endorse the white glaze pen. And then, of course, I had to sparkle up my snow, so I used my Spectrum Noir Clear Sparkle Marker over the snow to add a little bit of glitter to that. Now, to assemble everything, I am using my ATG gun, and here's the foil background going down on the Kraft card base. It's an A2 size card base. I did trim that background piece down to 4 by 5 1/4. Now my oval is going on top, and then I will take my Zig 2A glue pen and adhere the greeting to the banner piece that I've trimmed down a little bit now from the first time you saw it. And then I'm going to kind of just mess around and decide how I want my flower. I'm going to roll the petals just a little bit on that paintbrush and sort of take some time to figure out the leaves. Then I'm using a Kraft glue dot, and I'm bunching it up into like a big smushy pile on the back of that flower to give it a little bit of dimension. It's not quite as much as it would have it with like foam tape, but you know, it adds a little bit of dimension, so I like that. And then I'm going to kind of mess around with the leaf placement one more time. But eventually I will adhere both leaves down with the Zig pen, the Zig 2A glue pen. And then I will use my ATG gun on the banner to adhere that down. And then, of course, because I cannot stop myself, I had to add a little extra glitter with some Tonic Nouveau glitter drops in Ruby Slipper. So I wanted some like small drops. So sequins are too big. So what I wound up doing was taking some like seed beads for placement, as you can see there. And I'm just taking them off and then putting the Nouveau drops in place of where the seed bead was to finish it off. And there you can get a good look at the foil on that background, which is really pretty and really shiny. And that is the completed project. Now, of course, the photos don't really pick up the foil too well, unfortunately. And the effect is somewhat, I don't know, rustic. It's not the same as if you stamped that stamp. It's not that crisp, but it is really pretty. So I would say it's definitely worth trying. So as always, supplies are linked in the video description and over on my blog. Thank you so much for watching. Here are 2 more videos, as I mentioned, that use the snow pen and that same stamp set from previous videos. And if you liked the video, I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up. I would love it even more if you'd leave me a comment because I really like hearing from you. Thanks. Have a great day.